You're still watching Prime Morning. It's Wednesday, and of course, whenever it's Wednesday, we bring you the big interview. Today, I'm seated with a legend. Yes, I admire him so much. This man has done so much with regards to radio. Now, if you are an ardent listener of Joy 99.7 FM, then definitely you know that his words of wisdom has guided you. Let's take a look at his profile video.
Ebo Whyte, a renowned Guinean playwright and artistic director, was born James Ebo Whyte on July 20, 1954 in Kumasi. He grew up in a competitive household with a fishmonger mother and a former boxer father. However, tragedy struck at 15 when his father passed away and his family lost everything. Despite these challenges, Ebo pursued higher education, studying statistics at the University of Ghana, Legon. He also discovered his passion for theatre, becoming the artistic director of J Theatre in 1974. Ebo's career took off as a lead writer and artistic director at Rubberman Productions, where he wrote and directed over 59 stage plays. As a social commentator, Uncle Ebo has hosted Food for Thought on Joy FM for over 28 years. In his personal life, he's been married to Florence since 1983, and they fill their home with love and joy through adopted children. Through his work and life, Uncle Ebo Whyte has made a lasting impact on Ghana's theatre scene and beyond.
Well, you might love him for his Food for Thought, but some of us, we do love him for his theatre, you know, because when we sit at National Theatre and we watch his play, we don't leave without lessons. Of course, as you laugh, you leave also with some lessons, and you get home and you fix your problems at home. Good morning, Uncle Ebo Whyte.
Good morning, and how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you too?
I'm doing great, and good to see you.
Yeah.
You're looking wonderful.
Oh, thank you. Oh, coming from Uncle Ebo Whyte, it looks like I'm blushing this morning. It's good to have you here. You're a legend, and you have no idea how many people admire you out there. You've been...
I think it should stay that way, because sometimes when you get to know how many people admire you, it may get into your head. So it's good that maybe I do not know.
Okay. You think it'll get into your head, you being Uncle Ebo Whyte?
Yeah, I think I'm a very ordinary person. And so, who has been blessed with the opportunity to do what he loves. That is all. I owe so much to so many people.
Right.
I say that I am a product of the goodness and the kindness in the heart of Ghanaians. And so I never forget that.
What do you think you did that made Ghanaians love you so much?
Made who?
Ghanaians to love you so much.
I do not know that whether Ghanaians love me so much, because Ghana is an interesting place.
Oh, really?
Maya will be up. You understand?
Well, that's true.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
It's only when something hits the fan that you realize, oh, but what have I done? What have I done to that person?
Yeah.
That he's saying all those things. That is when even those who have never met you before talk as if they live with you in the same house. So, no, I don't think anybody should take it for granted. It's good that you have the respect, you have the honor, but don't take it for granted, because this is Ghana. It can all change like this.
Wow.
And what I've found in Ghana is that the more people celebrate you, the more people talk positively about you, the more resentful some other people get. And I don't know why. Why is everybody? And then the search is on.
Right.
You know, what he can be. No, there's something there. We haven't found it yet. Let's find it. And then when they don't find it, they will concoct it. You know, I have heard stories about me that has made me want to meet me.
Oh, well, what exactly did you hear that made you want to meet you?
I'll tell you two things. My wife goes to a pharmacy shop. Mm-hmm. She was going to buy some medication, but she was also the friend of the woman who owned the shop. She was in the shop when a friend of this woman enters. Mm-hmm. And just when that woman enters, a white BMW passes by. And the woman goes, "Oh, that's Uncle Ebo Whyte." You know, that's Uncle Ebo Whyte. Yeah. He said, "This car is only one of the expensive cars he has. But you watch, he's going to go home, he's going to change, and then he will use the Benz and come out."
Wow.
And then goes, this is what he does. Every day he goes, he changes the cars every day, and he comes in, and then he goes out, and things like that. And my wife is standing there. The woman who owns the place was trying to alert this woman that, please stop talking. But the woman misunderstood it as encouragement to go on. Mm-hmm. And so the stories kept going on.
Wow. And
my wife was standing right there. So my wife comes home and said, "Ebo, wherever you are keeping the BMW, we are going there today to go and pick." But that is one of those who love you, yes. And unfortunately, when you get into trouble, those who love you don't talk.
Right.
It is those who have always been waiting, the skeptics, those who have always been resentful of you, not because you threaten them, not because you are even in the same field with them, mm-hmm. but just because, why is everybody talking about her?
Yeah.
Who is she?
Why do people love her?
Yeah. And then there are people, who know, that kind of thing. And no. So in Ghana, better keep your head down.
Best advice.
You better keep your head down. Do what you have to do. Do it quietly. Do it with humility. Because if we get even a hint that you are becoming, you are surrounding yourself with some heirs, there are people who think it is their duty
to bring you down.
To bring you down.
Well, you've said it all, I must say. Because I've seen people who are rising and people use their mouths to bring them down.
Oh, yes, they will.
Is it a spiritual problem or something in Ghana?
It is. We don't love each other as Ghanaians. And because of that, foreigners thrive in Ghana. Because we'll stifle the Ghanaian, we'll sabotage the Ghanaian, we will undercut the Ghanaian, but the foreigner will promote and serve. What I do, I produce a play every quarter. There are people who hear about it who would never come because I'm a Ghanaian. If I was a foreigner, I would have needed a space bigger than National Theatre a long time ago. Mm-hmm. Because then they will go, "Hey, mm-hmm. He does a play every quarter, wow." But this one, you're a Ghanaian. Who does he think he is? Who does he think he is?
Right.
He has never come to watch the show. My kid brother is in Kumasi, and he came to watch one of the shows. But he needed to return that same day, so he came for the 4 o'clock show. At 6 o'clock, he was waiting to be picked to the airport to pick a flight back to mm-hmm. Kumasi. And whilst waiting for the car to come up to pick him, he heard these guys. He said there were about 6 guys who were standing in front of National Theatre by the road. They hadn't come in. Mm. And they were talking about me. "Hey, Papa, when you go, when you go, National Theatre, we emphasize National Theatre 1,000 people. Mm-hmm. Or just saying. And in those days, it was 200.
Yeah.
200. Hey! They hadn't come in. They were just looking at the cars parked, and that was it. They had assumed. And then when they are doing those calculations, they don't take into consideration the hiring of the place, cost of production, or anything. They think that every peso anybody pays is right into your pocket, and we're calculating it. And I realized that there are a number of people who, since we started this production, have never come to watch my shows, but every quarter they are at the National Theatre to see whether Nipa Baya and Nipa Ama.
Huh?
This is Ghana. Welcome to Ghana.
Thank you very much. Because seriously,
yes.
This is something else.
Yeah, Nipa Baya and Nipa Ama.
And they jubilate when people don't show up. And they get sad when people show up.
And then when they think that the attendance wasn't good, okay, the thing is coming down.
Oh, no. But Uncle Ebo Whyte, is theatre lucrative, though?
It could be. We haven't gotten there yet, but it could be. And I'm saying it could be because I'm looking at the lives of Tyler Perry in the US, who has built a whole empire on it. And my question is that if it could be done there, why not here? It could be, but we haven't gotten there yet. We haven't gotten there, not by a long shot. We haven't gotten there for several reasons. Number one, we are not a people who like to go out. You know, every now and then, Christmas and co, you see a lot of people out. Dirty
December.
Yes. But that is not the majority of the people. The average Ghanaian will rather sit home, watch television, and sleep. We don't have the culture of me and my wife going out.
Right.
Me and my family going out. The woman goes out. Church, agro, whatever. The man goes out.
Boys.
Boys. The fellowship of bottles. But on a regular basis for a couple, when we are dating, we go out.
Yeah, but when we marry...
No.
But somebody has to stay behind to take care of the children, right?
Come again?
Somebody has to stay behind to take care of the children, isn't it?
Even with house helps.
Okay.
Even with grandma being available. No, that is something. It's just that, or when the children are grown and can take care of themselves. It's just that it's just not part of us. It has not been our culture that once a week at least, we are not cooking, we are eating out.
Right.
We finish eating, we go and watch a show, and then we come home. We don't have that.
But for you, Uncle Ebo, you've done this since 2008.
Yeah, 2008.
Yes. Now, you're still doing it.
Yes.
Has it been lucrative for you?
No. It's been fulfilling. It's been fulfilling for me beyond anything that I could have dreamt of at the beginning. But lucrative, no. Because of the... You see, my counterpart in South Africa does 8 shows a week over 6 weeks. My counterpart in the UK, in the US, does 8 shows a week, and if he does 5 weeks, that production is regarded as failed. So there are productions that they run till the people stop coming.
Right.
Then they close it. And that could be 2 years. But let's work with my counterpart in South Africa, who is doing 6 weeks. 8 shows a week. Now, so he has 8 shows a week over 6 weeks to recoup whatever he put into the production. I have 12 shows a quarter.
Right.
And the 12 shows, we added 4 shows later, but we're doing 8 shows a quarter. And you are supposed to recoup whatever you put in those 8 shows for the quarter. And then you have to run the operations for the quarter, all based on what you earned from that quarter. So that is but if we can transition to the point where we're doing the 8 shows a week like my counterpart is doing for 6 weeks, oh yes, then the answer will be very, very different.
It would be lucrative, right?
Because then you would have recouped your expenses, and then the rest then becomes something you can build the platform with. But then we can't do 8 shows a week because one, the venue is not yours.
I was going to ask.
Others need to use the place, so you can't monopolize the place. And 2, the people don't have the culture of going out. In South Africa, yes.
There's a culture of going out.
Yeah.
What about logistics?
We have acquired all the logistics we need.
Okay, so then for you, it's not a problem.
No,
okay.
But paying for them is a problem.
Uncle,
but then we are right now to a very large extent when it comes to production self-sufficient.
That's great. That's great.
The only thing is the venue. Apart from the venue, we can bring everything else into the venue.
Do you have plans of getting a venue?
Yes.
That's good. So how soon should we expect that to happen?
It depends. We're almost there, and then the economy did that. So, then, in Ghana now, even though the law does not permit us to do so, we talk about dollars. Everything is dollar rated.
Dollar, yeah.
So what you could have bought for, let's say, $500,000 some time ago, suddenly you need about 3 times that amount.
Yeah.
Again, and so then everything then has to be restructured and things. But I keep living in hope and dreaming of the day when we'll be able to do that. And that will be a wonderful day for us and for Ghana.
That's so true. So if you say it's fulfilling, what makes it fulfilling?
Whenever you are working in any area where even if they didn't pay you, you'll still be willing to do it, you are blessed. Whenever you are working, you have the kind of job where you can't wait for daybreak to get out there and to do it. That is a blessing. Whenever you are working in the area of your gifting, as against the area of your education and training. Unfortunately, in Ghana, for many people, the model has been that we are working in the area of our schooling.
Right.
I went to school to do banking, so I'm working in a bank.
Exactly.
I went to school to do human resource, so I'm looking for a job as a human resource person. We do not realize that before schooling, there is a gift God gave each and every one of us, something that brings you to life. It invigorates you, it excites you. What I teach the younger people I mentor and father is that always look for that and look for opportunities to work in that area, even if you're not earning money now. Because the health it brings you from the joy you get from it, money can buy.
That's so true, Uncle Ebo Whyte.
The satisfaction, the peace it gives you, money can't buy. So we need to change that in Ghana and encourage people work in the area of your gifting, not the area of your training. Let the area of your training help you do better as you work in the area of your gifting. So, for instance, I wrote the exams of the Institute of Chartered Accountants, I did statistics at the university. All that helped me to better manage my productions.
Okay.
Do you understand? So the systems and the structures that run my productions are informed by my training, but I am working in the area of my gifting. And that is a different. So that is one thing. The other thing is seeing the impact it is having on people.
Right.
And some of the stories, we have two, I personally know two cases of people who came to our productions with the intent to commit suicide that day.
Wow.
One in Takoradi, one in Accra here. In both cases, they thought they had gotten to the end of their lives, and they decided they were going to take their lives. The one in Takoradi had lost his job, been thrown out of house. His wife had left him, and he felt there's nothing else to live for. So he had actually gone to buy the poison that he was going to take on a Saturday night. So they would discover the body on Sunday morning. When he heard the advert, we were going to do the show at Akroma Plaza in Takoradi. So he decided, okay, I'm going to die anyway, so let this be the last thing I do, and then I take my life. So he comes to Akroma Plaza, and he says, he sits down and he hears people laughing. And he said that irritated him and said, look, you people, you are not serious. I am going to die today. And you are sitting here and you are laughing. As it means nothing to you. And the laughter went on. Then he said, 25 minutes into the show, I heard myself laugh. And he said, I was shocked. Why am I laughing? I am dying today. Why am I laughing? Then he said, I couldn't stop laughing. As the show went on, he said, I kept on laughing. And he said, halfway through the show, I told myself, if I can still laugh, then it's not over yet.
That's beautiful.
There is something to live for. So he threw the poison into the dustbin at Akroma Plaza and went home. In his case, things turned around beautifully, and he's doing fantastically well. The other case was in Accra, a lady from Tema. And she had come to the theater with the poison because she wanted to die at the theater. She was afraid that if she died at home, nobody would. Nobody cared that much about her to even look
for her.
Out for her. So if she died in a public place, at least the police will be called to come and pick the body and then dispose of it. So she came with the poison to the National Theatre, that after it, she would take it, hang around National Theatre. When it kicks in, just die there. And she also, the same thing, found herself laughing and then realized, oh my goodness, why do I want to take my life? There's still so much to live for. And she also threw the poison away and went home.
Wow.
So stories like that.
It's fulfilling. Extremely fulfilling.
Yes,
Extremely.
They do. Couples who are not talking with each other, marriages are in trouble, big trouble in Ghana. And sometimes it's interesting. Couples come, and you could see they've been fighting in the car. So they are not even holding hands, nothing. And then sometimes they come late because, of course, they were fighting. And so we tell them, the place is full, we can't put you side by side, but there's a chair here, there's a chair. Oh, yeah, then the man. Usually the man, yes. So he picks it and he goes to sit down. The woman goes to sit somewhere else. Then halfway through the play, you find a man signal the ushers and say,
can you bring my wife closer?
Yeah, can you either ask the person sitting next to my wife whether he would like to move here, or the person sitting by me to take my wife's place so we can sit together. And then at the end of the show, you see them leaving, holding hands, and money can buy that experience.
You're the love doctor.
I am love aplanke. Not doctor. You can't heal. Okay. But I love to be at the aplanke. I like to be the one who facilitates it and makes it happen.
That's nice to hear. So you're a facilitator. a Cupid?
Oh, Cupid is the one who makes it happen. I don't make it happen.
Okay. Anyway, but Uncle Ebo Whyte, you've been with multimedia for 28 years.
Yes, and counting.
And counting.
Yes.
And forever, hopefully.
I would wish so.
But then how did it all start? How did you get in?
Well, I think that if you go to the multimedia side, the Joy FM side, I have actually written my Joy FM story. So I will give you the very abridged version of it. And I say that I owe my Joy FM story to 4 people. To Mr. Malco Zomelo, who was a friend of Mr. Chum, who helped Mr. Chum set up, who was working at GBC. I hosted him, we became friends. He mentioned me to Mr. Chum. And then, well, one thing led to the other, and about 6 months later, I was on air, not through Mr. Chum, because that encounter with Mr. Chum first encounter did not go too well, because I hadn't prepared for that meeting.
Okay.
I didn't think it was an interview, but it was an interview.
You thought it was just a hello, hi, meet up.
Yeah.
Meet me, this is me.
Yeah, this is me,
right.
Because his friend has spoken to him about it. The second person I owe my Joy FM story to is Dusty Wayne, who was the first producer of the Super Morning Show.
Right.
Also from GBC, who came looking out for me when, as producer, he decided they needed a small segment within the Super Morning Show that will cover an unlimited agenda. Somebody who can bring all kinds of story from anywhere and pick on any issue. So the idea was, we want somebody who would go around, be rover. So they called it Rover Report.
Okay, so that's where you got the name.
The Rover Report. And then, and Marco then recommended to him that I think Ebo Whyte will be able to do it. So he came looking for me, Dusty Wayne, and offered me the position. And it was interesting. When he announced that I was going to do the segment, nobody knew me at Joy. So it was like, Ebo who? And, but I didn't know what was happening.
Okay.
All I knew is that my first presentation, my first day on Joy FM, I finished my segment, I come out, and here is Dusty Wayne going round shouting, I told you people he could do it. I told you he could do it. That's when I knew.
Right.
He had to deal with all these questions about who is he? So I owe Dusty Wayne a lot. And then the third person is Tommy Ananforsen, who was the first host of the Super Morning Show. He was a legend in his own right before Joy FM from GBC. Fantastic radio personality. He and I clicked on it. We had, for media, even TV and radio, when people are on air and they like each other.
Yeah, the chemistry.
You can
tell.
know. It somehow gets transmitted to the people, and we had that. And so he's the reason why I'm called Uncle Ebo Whyte. Okay. Because he will call me nothing but Uncle Ebo Whyte.
Right.
So people then picked it. And then he would also introduce me as the Rover Man because of Rover Report. I present the Rover Report, so I was to him the Rover Man. And so he would call me the Rover Man, Uncle Ebo Whyte. And my relationship with him on air, we were not that close off air, but on air was fantastic. It was as if we were made for each other. And then the fourth person I would have to mention is Mr. Kwesi Chum. Mr. Chum's inspiration for those of us in the early days was huge. He had a way of mentoring you without it looking like he was mentoring you, but he was mentoring you. He was hands-on.
He still is, though.
With Mr. Chum, he doesn't know how to lie to anybody. So if he didn't like what you've done, if he wasn't happy with your performance, you knew.
Okay.
You won't hear it from somebody else. You will hear it from him. If he was happy with you too, you knew directly from him.
Right.
And so his very inspiration, and he was very hands-on. He was only a door away. You mess up on air, he's there to let you know, this one, no.
Did you ever mess up?
And you're out of the place. So,
did you ever mess up on air?
I used to fumble a lot because I used to write with hand on this, in this notebook, and write small. And so sometimes I'll get on it, and I always wrote in a hurry because I was doing a full-time job and doing this on the side. And so there isn't much time to devote to this.
And the full-time job is?
Come again?
The full-time job. What?
Yes, I was working as a general manager for Kena Pharma.
Okay.
Now, so one day, he enters the studio and grabs a notebook from me, and he flips it open. And then he sees the handwriting. And says, aha, that's why you fumble. Don't write like this. And that was it. I realized that, no, you better share, because he said it later that you tell beautiful stories, but when you fumble, it gets in the way of the story.
Right.
So make sure it is smooth, and that is what it has been.
Now, you were at GBC. Your program you were having was 45 minutes, right?
Yes.
45 minutes.
Yes.
You came on to Joy FM
For
and
10
you did
minutes.
10 minutes.
Yes.
Why let go of 45 minutes for 10 minutes?
The platform of Joy, even in those early days, was very promising. It was new. Now there's a proliferation of radio FM stations, and so it doesn't look as big a deal, but in those days it was a huge deal. The first private indigenous radio station in Ghana. So that was one. The vision of Mr. Chum was infectious. He dreamt big. I mean, he dreamt all these from the beginning, even though we started over there with a small studio and things like that. And then the numbers that Joy was, that was following Joy in those days. You could imagine if the first private radio station, the first radio station to do 24 hours. GBC told us that, I'm sorry, please pardon me, I'm just giving history.
Please go ahead.
That they couldn't do 24 hours.
Okay.
So they closed at 11 p.m. because the machines needed to be cooled down.
Okay.
And we accepted it. So everybody knew that 11 o'clock, or was it midnight, GTV and GBC would shut down, would close for the day. They had a beautiful song they would play, and then that was it. Then this radio station comes, and it's doing 24 hours. So that was exciting. And then I remember the very first, I think in the very early days, they were doing, we were used to properly planned, pre-recorded programs. Then Joy FM comes and they could do, there is something happening at Makola, and there's somebody there filing report live. One of the things was Nathaniel Atto would, well, he was in school then, but but the Black Stars had gone to play a match, and Joy FM had somebody on the flight with the team and was fielding reports on the flight.
Yeah.
Life. You know, so that kind of dynamism, Ghana was not used to it. And so the numbers were huge, and the driving force of Mr. Chum, the driving force of another legend in radio, Mr. Samuel Atamensa, we all call him Sam Mens, they were huge. So that excitement to be a part of this, that was the motivation.
Have you ever looked back?
No, not once.
Wow, that's good to know.
Not once. No, I haven't.
That's good to know. I wish we had...
And I couldn't have, especially when I got closer to Mr. Chum and he became a friend. And now I knew even more of the direction he was going and of the vision of the man. No, I'm happy to be part of this family.
And we love you.
Thank you.
We love Uncle Ebo Whyte. Because I don't think we could tell the story without Uncle Ebo Whyte.
Oh, you could tell it without Uncle Ebo Whyte, but I'm happy that I am part of it. But the story could be told.
Trust me.
Because I think that was what joy drummed into us in the early days. Nobody was indispensable. You had a slot as long as you were serving the audience, the listeners well. If you didn't have a slot. And everybody knew. You knew that. You knew that. And especially when Komla Dumont became Komla Dumont. And began together with, and people do not realize it, that Komla Dumont was a creation of Mr. Chum.
Okay.
And Sam Mens. They decided, we're going to make you this.
Okay.
And they did, and they worked at it. And it was good that they picked the right candidate because Komla was a learner. He had a teachable spirit, and Komla put in the hours, you know. And Komla made us all look good. But he also made you know that you can't come on my program not prepared. Please come prepared.
That's great.
And so we all look good, and everybody standard went higher.
That's nice. Now, Uncle Ebo, people want to know when you start uploading your plays on digital media, maybe YouTube. Is it ever going to happen?
We tried it. We tried it a few times. We had to pull back. We're trying to get an app for ourselves. We've experimented with it. We've tried all kinds of things. The problem has been that the first play we put out there, we discovered it was roaming in all kinds of places we hadn't planned for. People were using it. So
will you ever try again?
We will try again. We'll keep trying. What I'm looking for is what I call theater without borders, where the show is live at the theater, but it's streaming worldwide. And no matter where you are, you can access it.
Yeah.
So that is something that hopefully this year we will be able to roll it out. Theater without borders.
That would be lovely.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see it.
Because there are a lot of Ghanaians out there who always tell us, we want to watch the shows.
Yeah.
We don't get to watch the shows until we come to Ghana. But
theater without borders.
Theater without borders.
Unfortunately, one of your sons can't be a part of it. You lost him.
He will be a part in the spirit, not in the physical. Ebenezer Kwabena Yabwa, who left us suddenly about 2 weeks ago. He played the keyboard, the drums, the bass guitar. He performed in over 20 of our plays. He was the head of our production department. He was the mentor for a number, about half of the people. I have a theater group made up of 192 members. And he was the mentor and big brother of about half of them. We would miss him very, very much. People like that are irreplaceable. So, may his soul rest in peace, and my condolences to the widow, Ajua, and the children, and his only sister. He had one sibling, a sister. They had lost both parents.